Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. I'm your mayor, Chewy Plays Nintendo, joined by my co-mayor, Sergio. This episode is brought to you by Grace McEntee, or McEntee, I'm not sure, one of our newest Patreon patrons, and I had a couple, so wait till next week if you are a patron and haven't had an episode dedicated to you. Anyways, this episode, we discuss a comment that often comes up on my YouTube comment section. The newest president of Nintendo, my quest to find a Gamecube, and we're making our announcement for a live podcast. All right, Sergio, how you doing?
Hello, Chewy. Hello, everybody. I'm doing great. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. I feel like the weeks are feeling long, but short. I don't know. It's weird. Mostly I'm just feeling like, when are we going to get any more news? I know E3 just happened, and last week I was like, it felt like a train was rolling and we gained some steam, and then all of a sudden we fell off a cliff and we stopped. So yeah, it just feels like there's not too much going on right now. If you all have noticed, the episodes have been a bit shorter lately, and I think it's mostly because, we just haven't had too much coming up in the Animal Crossing world.
Yeah, we're fishing, we're looking to see what's said and what's confirmed or not confirmed about Animal Crossing. So whenever something pops up about it, we'll be sure to talk about it.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, both of us haven't been playing Pocket Camp, really. Have you played at all?
No.
No, me neither. So it feels like it's been a lot slower, too, I think, because of that.
True, yeah.
Yeah, so, but I don't know if you've still been playing your New Leaf Town, your new Leaf Town, new old Leaf Town.
Right.
But I've been playing a town. I just live streamed this past Saturday. Unfortunately, I'm out of town this upcoming Saturday, so I won't live stream then, but I'll try. I'm going to have some episodes up regardless during the week, so
nice.
It should be fine. But yeah, I've been having fun with Old Leaf.
Yeah, I've been having fun. I'm sure, like many of the listeners, watching your videos too and your live streams.
Oh yeah. And I kind of didn't let you answer, but have you been playing that game at all?
A little bit. I'm actually done because yesterday I played to finish recording the KK's Ladder songs that were added in New Leaf, and it's only 16 songs actually. I thought it was more, so I recorded them and I'm done. I'm done with this town, so I'm thinking I'm gonna be playing Population Growing.
Oh yeah, that's so fun. A quick question: did you record like all 16 of them last night?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and just for anybody listening, I know it's Tuesday, but we record on Sunday, so so Saturday would have been last night for us.
Right, and I was actually editing and cleaning them up after 8 p.m., so it felt like I was in a KK live performance.
Yeah, you're recording the live show for KK to hand over those bootlegs to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like it's really cool that it's easier to get KK's music and you can have some awesome jams in your town, in your house.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I liked that slow week by week approach to getting every song.
Yes.
Off the top of your head, do you know how many songs KK has?
There are 91 total.
Wow. So that's like, if you were to do it that classic way, it would take 91 weeks.
Yeah, more than almost 2 years.
What? That's almost 3 years?
No, almost 2 years. Yeah, that's crazy.
Or is it 2 or 3?
2.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I was like, wow, that's a lot of years.
Yeah.
But then again, like 2 years, that works out pretty perfectly. I feel like once you've done 2 years of Animal Crossing every single day, you're like, that feels like a lot of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it feels like you're ready for a new one.
Yeah, which, come on, Nintendo, we've been waiting. And speaking of delays, let's get into our first topic. I know we were just chatting, but I wanted to extend these podcasts for everybody a little bit. I know they've been short. But yeah, speaking of delays, this is a comment that I get pretty regularly on my YouTube channel, usually on the videos, but any new video I post, I feel like somebody mentions this, and it's always about how Nintendo is working on Splatoon 2, and that's the reason Animal Crossing isn't getting made.
Mhm.
So I guess what I wanted to address specifically is that I made a video a while back that broke down the Animal Crossing developers, and I looked at what kind of games they were moving on to. And yes, some of them moved on to Splatoon 2, but others moved on to work on things like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, maybe even ARMS. I don't know, but I
Mhm.
think the thing to know is that Nintendo has a huge development team. And it's not just a single development team. They have multiple development teams working on things at once, right?
Yes. Right.
And so they like to jump people around. So maybe they worked on Animal Crossing and they're like, okay, work on Splatoon. And I feel like the things in Splatoon that really point toward like Animal Crossing's influence is stuff like the different clothing you can wear, the different
Yes.
looks that you can give your Inkling. I feel like the Animal Crossing developers put that kind of like effort into the game, like the customization
Yes.
aspects to your character. And I think Nintendo loves doing that with their developers, like having them go from title to title because they want a fresh perspective on each game that they
Mhm.
make. So yeah, a lot of people did move on to Splatoon 2, but I really don't think there's a huge team on Splatoon 2 at this point. I think they have a small team that's dedicated to the updates that are happening for the rest of this year. But others are like, they're working on some secret things. I can tell they're working
Yes.
on some secret things. Mostly because the three games that we're getting from like actual Nintendo this year are Super Mario Party, and I don't even remember the other two. Do you happen to know at all?
Do you mean games made by Nintendo themselves?
Yeah, like they're games being developed by Nintendo.
I think Mario Party is the only one we know about.
I'm gonna look this up. But yeah, so what do you think, I guess, of this comment? How are you feeling about like the idea of like, is there an Animal Crossing development team around right now?
There should be, and they should be working on the new one, but it's very, very difficult to say who is in it, because of many reasons. All the ones that you listed, it's a very large development team, and as with pretty much anything, they must be working on many games at the same time. We understand that sometimes when it's crunch time, you're gonna focus on more or on one game than the other, but in at the same time, that's mostly done by specific part of the development team, like the game testers. They're gonna focus their time on a game that's about to come out or that needs to get published soon. But on the other hand, it's just a very large team, so all of them are working on different things. And if we were to go with this comment that Splatoon has delayed Animal Crossing, that has been the case since 2015. I believe that's the year when Splatoon 1 came out. And by then, New Leaf was 2 or 3 years old, depending on what region you're looking at. So by then, there must already be plans, at least concepts of the next Animal Crossing. And like you said, it's very easy for Nintendo and very beneficial for them to have different staff work on different games and switch them up and see what can you bring to this genre, what can you bring to this series based on your talents as a game designer. So I think it's very safe to say that Animal Crossing is in development and has been in development for a while, and no, Splatoon 1 or 2 haven't really delayed anything. It's just another project that Nintendo has.
Yeah, because even looking back at when the original Splatoon came out, that same year we did get Happy Home Designer.
Yes.
Um, so yes, a lot of people went from New Leaf to work on Splatoon. Actually, more people went on to work on, I think it was A Link Between Worlds.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so a lot of people went from New Leaf straight into A Link Between Worlds. Some went into Splatoon, but others like stuck around and worked off that same engine to create Happy Home Designer.
Hmm.
Which you probably don't need as big a team when you know you're working on that same engine that you just worked on, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, it probably didn't need as many resources, but the Animal Crossing team is still around. They still put out a game at the same time as Splatoon. So yeah, I don't think Splatoon 2 is delaying the game. Real quick though, I just looked at the Nintendo EPD, which is the Entertainment Planning and Development Division at Nintendo. For this year, they actually don't have Super Mario Party listed anymore as a game developed by Nintendo.
Oh.
There are three things, though, for 2018. Those are Nintendo Labo, Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido, and Dragalia Lost, which is going to be their new Android game that they're
Oh,
co-developing
that's right.
with, I forget who. Yeah, I
Hmm.
don't remember who they're co-developing it with, but yeah, Super Mario Party isn't listed anymore as like a Nintendo developed game. So I think 2018 in general has been kind of like an in-between year for Nintendo. For
Yes.
me, it's very clear that they put all of their resources to 2017 because they wanted the Switch to have a huge first year, right?
Right.
So for example, like the list of games in 2017 is huge for this. They have Fire Emblem Heroes, which is the Android game slash, well, the mobile game, right, for
Yes.
Fire Emblem. They have 1-2 Switch, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, Splatoon 2, Metroid Samus Returns, Super Mario Odyssey, and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which
Oof.
again is another co-developed game. Like they weren't using all of their
True.
resources to make
True.
this. But yeah, just in that list alone, we have like, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe 9 titles.
Right. And when was the last time we got a mainline Zelda game and a Mario game within months of each other, you know?
Yeah, and that's a lot. And so my feeling is there's probably, I know Nintendo is really interested in making another Zelda for the Switch, like specifically for the Switch.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's a team like planning that out. But in the meantime, I feel like with Mario being done and Zelda being done, even like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because like some Animal Crossing of the team, some of the teammates on the Animal Crossing team have worked on like Mario Kart 8 or
Yes.
Mario Kart before. But yeah, I feel like that freed up a lot of resources and they're focusing on new games for sure right now.
Right. And I think they studied the market and what they could do, and they said, for 2018, let's focus on what on the future. It's like a catch-up year in a way. In the meantime, let's put out a Kirby game, Mario Tennis. They even, in a way, you could say they're putting out Octopath Traveler because they're publishing it, and of course Smash. And Smash is huge, so
Hmm.
that gives them a reason to say we put out these select games, maybe not as many as in 2017, but watch out, 2019, we're bringing all the big guns.
Yeah, I really think 2019 is going to look a lot more exciting. Because for me personally, I don't think 2018 is really a huge year, like Nintendo wise for me.
Yes.
I've bought a lot of like indie games, which is great. Like Nintendo is getting a lot of support from indie developers and third parties now.
Right.
So there's stuff to play. Of course, not none of it's Animal Crossing. um, but like overall the year, like I just bought Mario Tennis Aces, and that's like my first Nintendo purchase this year.
Yes.
And we're officially in July now. We're in the last half of the year now.
Yeah, that's right. Went by fast.
Yeah, and even now looking at what's upcoming, um, like, it's gonna be 3 more games. There's Super Mario Party that I'm interested in. Of course, Super Smash Bros. And Pokemon, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So it's a slow year for me. And I'm just hoping that 2019 is a year that they're working toward and trying to make big changes for.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, 2018 has been sort of a year for us to catch up. Even sneaking time on other consoles if we have them, even that. And but like you said, there's good games coming out. I'm thinking based on my plans, I'm looking to buy a game every month, so there's still content. You know, even WarioWare Gold for the 3DS.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, and then Luigi's Mansion too. So there's content, but you can definitely see a bit of a slowdown. But I think it's more of a build up to 2019, and hopefully we hear some of it in a direct sometime this fall, maybe.
Yeah, and I've got to say, like, the 3DS, I haven't bought anything for it, but it's been kind of hard considering that, like, the last few games that we're getting on the 3DS, like, I'm pretty into. I never picked up Ever Oasis, but I was really interested in that.
Yes.
Maybe I will someday, but I just, I've spent so much time on the Switch now that after a little bit, I forget that I want games on 3DS.
Yes.
But yeah, WarioWare Gold, I do want that. And I do want Luigi's Mansion just because I haven't played the original one before.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. And I think they just recently announced more Yokai Watch games are coming over here.
Yeah. So yeah, like there's a lot of stuff coming, and we really shouldn't be complaining that there isn't more coming because really I already have so many games in my backlog to get through. So yeah, while nothing exciting is happening and we're waiting for Animal Crossing, I'm just gonna take my time, play through what I have, and then try not to get annoyed until I'm like out of games to actually play.
Right.
But it's hard, because I want Animal Crossing. I know you all want Animal Crossing, and it's tough waiting because I'm still just getting the feeling that it's a 2019 game. So I feel like it has to happen next year, right?
Yes. And by then we're gonna be concerned about games coming out after Animal Crossing that we're just not gonna play. So those games are gonna have to wait.
Yeah, I think Animal Crossing it's going to take all my attention.
Yes.
And it's weird because like right now it already consumes me. It's going to consume me even more when it's out. But yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't hear about it next year at all.
True.
I'd be really confused because there's no way they're doing nothing right now.
Right.
Especially toward that and knowing that Pocket Camp is out.
Yeah, that's right. That was supposed to be build up, for something. If this game is taking 6 or more years, hopefully just 6 years to come out, maybe we'll be playing it for 6 years.
I mean, if it's that good, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I expect it to be really good at this point because we've been waiting a long time. They did a lot of really great things with New Leaf in a shorter amount of time. So I'm just like, you guys are going to blow me away. Like that's what you have to do at this point.
Yeah. Animal Crossing hasn't really had the HD experience that some games had, like Mario and Zelda. Those series got their really awesome looking games. It's time for Animal Crossing. It's been time, so maybe that's why we're waiting.
Yeah, and just as a final note, as far as like stats go, I couldn't find projects for 27.68% of the New Leaf staff. So of all of the staff on the New Leaf game, 27.68%, I don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of them did move on to Happy Home Designer, but I couldn't find any information on projects for about 71.11% of that staff.
Right.
So that's a huge majority of the Animal Crossing team that I just could not track down. And I researched that a lot. So maybe check the description of this video. I'm going to put a link toward that video where I go over the Animal Crossing developers, just so you can all get an idea. But yeah, that's just one comment that I keep getting. And I'll probably still keep getting it.
Yes.
But that's fine. I'll address it whenever. Maybe I'll make a specific video on it. Anyways, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, because there are a lot of changes happening at Nintendo, and one of the big ones is that Nintendo has a new president. Kimishima has now stepped down. He was always just an interim president, so just a in-betweener, you know?
Yes.
But now we have an officially new president named Shuntaro Furukawa. And he's a pretty young guy.
Yeah.
Considering, like, you know, the age of the Japanese population is pretty high. Yes. In general. They've got a very large, older population. But especially, like, taking over a big company like this, he's a young guy.
Right.
So I made a little video just last week about this, and his first comment that I felt like pointed towards like Nintendo kind of focusing on making a ton of different games. Either they could be like reviving IPs that haven't been touched in a while, or making completely new games, you know? So me, obviously, I'm going to think, okay, they're finally bringing back Animal Crossing. But yeah, I guess, how are you feeling about the new president? Did you watch my video on it?
Yes, and I'm excited. It's always exciting because things could go in many different directions, and for the most part, usually it ends up going great for Nintendo in ways that we wouldn't expect. We might be getting, like you said, or old franchises coming back, or new ones, or the classic ones that we know, like Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, in different game genres. So it's very exciting. The young new president may have a lot of ideas, and he may just want to go for it and experiment and see what hits, what works, what doesn't, and it's very exciting for the gamers as well.
Yeah, and I think you're onto something with like experimenting things, because I know his background specifically is marketing, and so marketing is what I do, like, as my day job, my regular thing when we're not making these podcasts or making YouTube videos. So I know, like, you work a lot with data, you work a lot with looking at your audience and seeing like what's hitting, what's not, what, I guess, market segments are you not making it to,
Yes.
And what do you want to spread to, what essentially, he's very focused, at least it sounds like he's very focused on growing the Nintendo market. Because one of the big things that Iwata did was, you know, the release of the Wii.
Yes.
The Wii turned things around for Nintendo. Just a little background, Nintendo saved the gaming industry with the original NES. I always called it the Nintendo, and the Super Nintendo, or SNES for others.
Right.
I always called it the Super Nintendo. But yeah, those two platforms, along with like the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, those were all huge, right? They brought the industry back to life. They made it not be crashing and burning like it was up until then. And then from there, Nintendo had a couple of flops. The N64, though it's like a famous console, very beloved, it did not sell well.
Yes.
It sold far less than the PlayStation. And then the GameCube, it kind of did about the same. It did less than the N64.
Right.
But both of those were kind of bad systems for Nintendo. GameCube and N64, surprisingly, like, a lot of people love them, right?
Yeah, because they have a lot of the best games, like really, really memorable games, but a thing or two that may seem a little strange, but sometimes those strange things can lead to not great success, like those two did.
Yeah, and you know, you do make a good point. Like Mario 64 or Super Mario 64, like that changed gaming.
Yes.
Entirely. Like up until Super Mario 64, there weren't any 3D games like that.
Right.
That changed everything for gaming. But barely anybody had an N64 to experience that initial first change in, what we know today.
Yes.
But anyway, so like after the GameCube, it was the era of the Wii. And that was huge for Nintendo. Funny enough, I didn't really connect too well with the Wii. I think some games, the Wii really worked for me, and others, it really didn't. But that's another topic. I'll stay focused on this. Anyways, the Wii, it sold millions upon millions. It's one of the best-selling consoles of all time. And the big reason why was because it reached demographics that weren't normally gaming. This was... It did really well with older people. It did really well with women. It did really well just with demographics that aren't as tied into gaming as, like us.
Yes, right.
So it was a huge change. And I think Shuntaro Furukawa, coming in as a marketer, understands this completely.
Right.
He knows like what the data is on what Nintendo's audience is and who Nintendo's audience is. And I'm sure he knows what's missing. So there are a lot of places that Nintendo could reach, be it, I think one of the big things for me, when you're branding your company or thinking of like what kind of company you are, for example, if you're a phone company or you sell phones and everything, you're kind of limiting yourself by thinking of yourself as a company that sells phones. Instead, you want to think about it as like you're a company that sells communication.
Yes.
Because that stretches out. So Nintendo, they think of themselves as an entertainment company.
Right.
That isn't just video games. That is a whole line of different things. So you see it now where they're planning things like movies. They're planning things like TV shows. They're making a theme park. Like they are going all in on the idea that they are here to entertain, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's my thing. I think this guy, he understands that. He's coming from, a very similar world that I'm in. Of course, he's a lot better at it than me because he's president of Nintendo. But, having a smaller background as mine, like I can see, like, I think there's some big things that are going to happen here.
Definitely, I can see your point, and it's very exciting. It's very plausible that the new president is going to take what I consider a calculated risk, like the Wii was, like the Nintendo DS was also, with touchscreens and 2 screens, something really crazy. I think Nintendo is very good at taking those things that seem risky, but they are huge successes. I'm not so sure if the Switch is much of a risk. I think it's just a really smart progression of how they combine their handheld market and the console market. The Wii U, I think, was just a mistake in a way of trying to continue the Wii line too much, trying to carry on the success of the Wii. I think that was their mistake. But I think Nintendo overall is really good at doing calculated risks, and especially with a marketer as president, I think we're going to see that again.
Yeah, I think they're going to do some big things. I did want to go into, he has made a second statement. If you didn't watch my first video, you can go back and watch that. But that was essentially his first statement as president. But here he's made another. He said, we are also, he said a lot of things, but this is the part I wanted to clip out specifically. He said, we are also bringing Nintendo characters to several different sectors, including theme parks, video content, and character-based merchandise, to increase the opportunities for consumers to encounter Nintendo IP in their everyday lives. With support from our external partners, we are actively working on these aspects of the business, which differ from the dedicated video game platform business that has been a part of Nintendo for so many years. We intend to expand the number of people who have access to Nintendo IP by raising awareness across an even broader consumer demographic through these opportunities to make contact with consumers outside of games. So this is exactly what I was telling you. Like, they are saying that, like, outside of video games, we're going to do other things. And,
Yes.
they're making the Nintendo section of the Universal theme park, right?
Right.
They're making some movies. That's some video content. And they're making character-based merchandise. So those are three things that we know they're working on. And I want to have some fun with this and try to imagine some things that, I guess, what could they be working on that is Animal Crossing related?
Right. It's very exciting. See, because the way he phrases it, if you sort of think about it, he's like saying, in a way, we want your parents to know about Nintendo, about Mario, Zelda, and Animal Crossing. People that are usually not so much in tune with video games as we are. So there's so much potential. What about an Animal Crossing clothing line?
Wow, yeah. You know what? That would work so perfect because, like, literally they could just make real life versions of the clothes that you can buy
Yeah,
in the game. That's already a great start. I
yeah,
want, like, tons of shirts from the game
yes,
and pants, and I would wear so much. I'd just dress up as an Animal Crossing character, hands down.
yeah, yeah.
My thought was making a second Animal Crossing movie, please.
Yes,
I,
yes.
the original is only in Japanese. There are some like fan dubs of it. There are some with subtitles, but it was great. I mean, it's a pretty simple movie, but it's beautiful. I felt
Right,
like it captured Animal Crossing in a fun way. So I want another
right.
movie.
And I think it would be great, even even if it's 2D sprite base or even CG. CG movies are getting really good, and Nintendo has they're already working in some of them in a way. So I think an Animal Crossing one would be awesome.
Yeah, I think they could really pull it off. The other thing, the theme park stuff, as soon as they announced theme park, that they were making a theme park, I was like, Animal Crossing's perfect for that. If you have a gift shop that is Animal Crossing themed, I am there. I'm gonna buy one of everything
Yes,
there.
yes,
um, and then that gets into merchandise. Like I have always had so much trouble finding Animal Crossing merchandise. I want more of it. Just give it to
yes.
me.
Yeah, because if you think about it, Nintendo, in a sort of sideways sort of way, they have Pokemon, even though that's by Game Freak. And they really went all out in terms of merchandising. You can get a plush of pretty much every Pokemon, and there's so many of them. I think the next franchise that it's completely Nintendo's, like 100%, that has a lot of characters, it's Animal Crossing. That's why Animal Crossing was used for the amiibo, even the figures and the cards, which there's so many of them. So there's so much potential for all sorts of Animal Crossing merchandising, and that has a lot of appeal, especially to children, even as toys. It's a great market.
Yeah, and that's why I went so crazy for the amiibo cards for Animal Crossing, because for me that was like the first thing ever that I could easily, well, not too easily, but it was the first thing I could find on shelves that was Animal Crossing, and I was like, finally, the
Yes.
franchise I love is getting some love, and it's in the form of just toys. And not only that, but I can use them in my game that I already love, and it's great.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
so great. It's so great.
So I think that they should go all out and have everything for every character.
I agree.
As long as it makes financial sense, which we hope it does.
Yeah. Um, yeah. If they're testing the waters with things like Pocket Camp, I think it'd be really cool to get a camper, like a real life toy camper that looks like the Animal
Oh,
Crossing ones. It's customizable. You can change out
yes.
different things. That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Make a Labo camper set.
Oh, This has to happen. It has to happen.
It has to. It would be so cool to build a Labo camper and then roll it around and be, I don't know, play some like decorating game on
Yeah.
Labo. It's great.
Ooh, I need it.
Yeah. We just there's so many opportunities with Animal Crossing. I think pretty easily Nintendo sells out of Animal Crossing things. I think the only things they didn't really sell too much were the amiibo figures. But even then, like, most of them got bought out anyways.
Yes.
And surprisingly enough, because those were for, like, Amiibo Festival as their main thing. But still, they were usable in New Leaf. So I don't think anybody had a problem. And eventually they were so cheap that people just bought them.
Right, and I'm hoping and it would make sense for them to come back and be used in a new game.
Yeah, and then the cards were so popular. People have so much trouble still finding the cards even now, you know?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I don't know. I think all the stuff is very popular. I don't know why they're not capitalizing on it already. It's surprising, but maybe they are. Maybe
Right.
they must be working on it because that's so much money for them. And like I said, there are two things. I think last episode I said it, but there are two things that Nintendo wants to do: make money and make people and entertain people.
Yes.
You know, and that's what they're gonna pull off with this.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So a little bit earlier, you mentioned playing the GameCube game. So I've actually been on a quest to find a GameCube. What kind of GameCube do you have? Do you have purple, silver, black?
I do have the purple one, but I'm actually using the Wii.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. I just bought a platinum one. I think that's the official name for their color.
Yes.
But I bought a platinum GameCube. I went to this retro gaming store that is in my city. It was called Game Changers. And I talked to the guy. I asked him, do you have GameCubes? And they're like, yeah, but we don't have any controllers, so we're not really selling them without it. And I was like, well, I have a controller. I have two of them. And then he was all, oh, then I'll sell you one. So he brings out a few GameCubes. He brought out a platinum one, a purple, and a black GameCube. And after looking at them, I was like, oh, the platinum one looks like it's in the best condition, right?
Right.
And so I was like, I'll buy that one. And I need the cables. So give me those. So I bring it home and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna test this thing, see how it works. And I did run into a problem with it. And it's a problem that I feel they didn't know it had because they didn't have any controllers.
Oh.
But it's a problem with like the controllers. This controller that I have, it's a new Super Smash Bros. GameCube controller. So one that came out for the Wii U game, right?
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good controller. It's relatively new. I've used it not that much. So I plug it in and I'm playing and it's fine. I was just trying, like, I have two GameCube games on me that I bought a while ago from a friend with a bunch of other games, but the two are Star Fox Adventure and Wario World. So I put them both in, and I noticed in Star Fox Adventure, there's like this really weird beginning part where you're shooting a plane, and anytime I got hit, it stopped working. Like the controller just stopped moving, and no button commands would work at all. And then I was like, this is really weird. And then I'd unplug the controller, plug it back in, and then it would work. But then I was like, okay, so this is weird. I'm going to try the WarioWare game. Not WarioWare, Wario World. So I put that game in, and every time I did a certain move with Wario, the controller would stop working. So I don't know. I think it's a problem with the GameCube. So I'm going to go return it, get probably the purple one. I originally had a purple one.
Nice.
So well, I think my brother has that right now, but I'm going to get the purple one and try that out instead. And hopefully it works, because on eBay, I found a listing for Animal Crossing Population Growing. And I was really excited about this because it was pretty cheap. It was only like $25, right?
Oh, nice.
And the thing is complete. Like, it is the original box art. It doesn't have that like player's choice lettering at the top.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
yeah, it's the original game case. It includes the manual, all of the pamphlets that came with it, like not just the manual, but like the little
Yes.
extra things. And it has the game, of course, and the original memory card that came. So
Nice.
Animal Crossing on GameCube, if you bought it, it came with a memory card specifically that was only big enough to hold Animal Crossing.
Yes.
And I love it because it has the little artwork, the Animal Crossing artwork on it.
Yes. Yes.
So I am so stoked to get this thing.
Nice.
um,
That's awesome.
a little fact about the first Animal Crossing game. When I played it, I never got the original box for it. A friend lent me it. They put it in a CD case because they didn't know where the box was.
Mm-hmm.
And so they lent it to me, and I played it forever. And then eventually they were like, "You can keep it. I don't really need the game." And so I was like, "Well, yeah, okay, I'll keep it." So I got that game for free, but I never had the box, and now I'm just like, I want that box. um,
Right.
yeah, and it's funny because like I'm all digital on the Switch, but I think I'm gonna buy. I'll probably mainly play the digital version of Animal Crossing, but I think I'm gonna just
Yes.
buy a physical copy to have it,
Yes, that's
to
right.
have the artwork. So Nintendo, if you put that out, you already get $120 from me. That's a lot of money.
That's right.
It's good money.
Yeah, not only the Pokemon players buy the games twice. We do as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm so excited about this coming in. I gave them a little note since I'm out this weekend. I was like, get it to send it like Monday,
Oh, right,
or
right.
later, like next week or so.
Right, right.
Because I'm like, I don't want to risk it getting stolen. Like, I need this.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm so ready to play that game again.
Nice. I was wondering if you still have maybe a memory card for the GameCube that may have your original Haken in it.
So I know for a fact that I deleted that original Haken. Yeah,
Ooh,
so it's gone forever. Um,
right.
I think it happened mostly because, I've been through this story, but my best friend Pancho moved away, and I was so sad. And then it just
Oh,
wasn't the
yes.
same after that. And so when I eventually went back to the game, I was like, I'm just going to start fresh. And so I deleted that
Hmm.
town. I imagine I have a memory card that still has that town on there, but I also think like after a while I probably just deleted them and kept restarting games.
Right, right.
Um, yeah.
Same thing happened to me. I don't know why, but I don't have Animal Crossing on my memory card. And at some point, the memory card that comes with the game is the most basic one. And then eventually there was a black one that had, I think, like four times the amount of the basic one. And then later on, Nintendo released a white one that was an insane amount of memory. And I had that one. So I didn't have a reason to erase Animal Crossing, but I checked recently and I do not have it. I don't remember what my original town name was. I don't remember who was in it. I think one of the Eagles was in it.
Oh.
But of course, I love the game, but I don't remember much about it. I wish I had it.
Yeah, I wish we both had our towns, our original
Yeah,
ones. That'd be so fun to look back at and see
yeah.
see my
But
room full of gyroids.
So let's see if the memory card that you do get comes with a town, and maybe, it might have something that might surprise
Yeah,
you.
that's right. I do want to check it out and see if that person like left a town for me. I'll probably start by doing a video tour of like what I find on that first memory
Yeah,
card.
nice.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm so excited for it to come in. But yeah, this week I'm going to try to exchange those Gamecubes and get one that works, you know?
Nice.
Um,
And then you can bring it home with the handle.
yeah, that I'm going to just carry it like that. Like the original intention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on top of that, I bought like a composite to HDMI converter. So I will be getting some footage of it. Like I mentioned, I'm going to record what I
Nice.
find on that first memory card. Um, but yeah, I'm mostly getting it because I want to do like something specific with a series on this channel.
Mhm.
And it's mostly just to, look back at like 5 features from each game that I want to see in the new Animal Crossing, you know? So
Nice.
I think
Hmm.
it'll be a fun series for everyone. I'm going to try to bring some really cool things. I already have some good ideas of the original game. The original game had a lot of really fun,
Yes.
quirky things that I think
Yes.
are so special and they need to be in it.
Right. It's the most or the least Animal Crossing game in a way, but it's the original, so it holds a lot of charm in our hearts.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. I can't wait to go back to it. I'm also
Yeah.
thinking I'll buy another memory card and show people kind of how the traveling works.
Oh, awesome.
Because I feel like not a lot of people got to experience
Yeah.
that in the first one.
Right.
Yeah. And also, like, somebody commented about the Happy Home Showcase in New Leaf. I think I'm gonna do a specific video where I kind of give a tour of that. Because I think
Hmm.
if you're just getting into Animal Crossing, you probably are not street passing anybody.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
which reminds me, I have your 3DS here. I'm gonna street pass your town. Have them
Nice.
both on and have them show up in our own
Yeah.
places. Yeah. um, so yeah, I guess all we have left for this show is to announce that we're doing another live podcast. I think a lot of people on the Discord have a lot of fun with these. So the next live podcast will be Wednesday, July 4th at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern. So if it's Tuesday right now, the day this episode came out, tomorrow, be there for the live podcast. How to listen. You want to join the Discord. In the Discord, we have a voice channel that is called, I think, I'm looking at it right now. Podcast, a live podcast, and then there's also a chat like channel, a text channel called Podcast Live Chat. If you join the Discord, go into the live podcast voice channel. You'll be able to hear us. You won't be heard. You'll just be able to listen. Everything will be live. It's actually Sergio and I talking. And then you can
Yes.
chat with us in that podcast live chat. And yeah, we'll have a lot of fun things going on. We'll probably have to plan it out either Monday, Tuesday, well,
Right.
yesterday, today, for all of you listening. Um, we'll probably have it planned out and have some cool interactive parts for everybody to join in. But yeah, you can chat with us during the show and you can ask us anything, a bunch of fun things. Last time we said you could ask us our favorite dessert, and somebody asked us what our favorite dessert was, and we gave a
Right.
lot of love to cheesecake. I do love cheesecake. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, are you excited about this, Sergio, the live show?
Yeah. Yeah, these are awesome. We get to read everyone's comments and just talk about Animal Crossing with everyone and get a lot of different perspectives and points of view on everything. Even if we talk about Nintendo or other things that are not Animal Crossing, it's always just fun to listen and chat with our listeners and discuss it live.
Yeah, it's a really fun show, and it tends to be a little longer. I think some people like a longer podcast to listen to, and that'll make up for these shorter ones that we've been having lately. But yeah, it'll be a little longer, and we tend to just stick around after we're done recording too to still chat for a little while. Because it's fun. I personally like hanging out with everybody. So it's a good time. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. If you want to be part of the conversation on all things Animal Crossing, join the Discord, show up to the live show. I have a link in the description of this podcast. It's totally free to join, and you don't have to be a patron. And if you do join, you'll get our friend codes to play all the things with us. And if you do want to be a patron, visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo. For just $1, you can support the show, get tons of cool things. I'm thinking of doing a new video series that patrons are going to get early access to. So if you're interested in that, join the Patreon, become a supporter, and yeah, you'll get some cool info. You can also get some awesome art from Sergio. We just really try to make this as worth it as possible because we appreciate your support. And if you're watching or listening on YouTube, leave a comment about your thoughts on Nintendo's new president, what you'd like to see him do, anything you want to see Animal Crossing related, be it like theme park stuff, a movie, TV show, whatever it is you want to see as Animal Crossing, tell us. And then please leave a review for the show wherever you're listening. It helps the show gain some visibility and allows our community to grow. And once again, thank you all so much for listening. We hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.